Good afternoon, children. Today we are going to start the next chapter, and that is polynomials. Anyway, polynomial is not a new thing for you. Last year also you learned polynomials. Same way, same thing, slightly, some 2-3 concepts a little more. Let us recall polynomial. A polynomial we normally write it in the form of px is equal to a1. This is a general form. Okay. If you understand, okay, otherwise no problem. I take an example. Example 4x to the power 5 minus 2. Some example. Okay. So here you see that n is equal to 5. The coefficient is 4. N minus 1 is 4. That is 2 coefficient. X cube is not there. That means the coefficient is 0 and 5 is a constant. So this is a polynomial. Okay. Next we learnt degree of a polynomial. This is just for you to recall. Okay. Degree of a polynomial. You know what is the degree of this polynomial? The degree is nothing but the highest exponent. And this is the highest term, so the exponent is 5. So degree of this polynomial is 5. So highest exponent is the degree. Next we learnt linear polynomial. Right? Linear polynomial is what? It is of degree 1. When the degree is 1, we say that it is a linear polynomial. Then we learnt quadratic polynomial. Right? Here the degree is 2. Then we learnt cubic polynomial. Degree is 3. Right? Any other polynomials will be the polynomial of that degree. Now, next part which we have learned was very important, and that was ZRO of a polynomial. Zero of a polynomial. Okay? I hope you remember. Zero of a polynomial. I want you to recall. 0 of a polynomial in x is the value of x for which the polynomial becomes 0. For example, if we have a polynomial 2x plus 3, this is a linear polynomial, and the ZRO 0 of this polynomial will be minus 3 by 2. That will be 0 because when you substitute in place of x minus 3 by 2, you get the answer 0. Therefore, minus 3 by 2 is known as ZRO 0 of this polynomial. 0 of the polynomial can also be 0. For example, there is a polynomial 5x. In this, the 0 will be 0 itself. Okay, so this was learned last year. Now we also have a quadratic polynomial. Suppose x square minus x square 4x plus 4. This is another example. Here you can see that it is a quadratic polynomial because the degree is 2. Now here the 0 will be nothing but minus plus 2. Because when you substitute 2 here, you get 2 square minus 4 into 2 plus 4, and that means equal to 0. So ZRO 0 of this polynomial is 2. Correct? So if you put here equal to 0, then your marks will be 0. Listen here. All of you, if you put equal to 0, then your marks will be 0 because it's a polynomial. It is not an equation. You cannot equate it to 0. It will be till here only. Okay. So that was a 0 of a polynomial. Now the question arises, how it will look graphically. When you put, if it is a linear polynomial, the graph will be straight line. Okay. And if it is a quadratic polynomial, then it will be curve. What type of curve? So that there is no need of plotting the graph, but I will tell you, if the graph is of this kind, then the curve will be either of this U-shaped or inverted U-shape. Okay. So now the graph of a quadratic polynomial is known as parabola. and the 0 of the quadratic polynomial is the number of zeros is the number of point where it cuts the x-axis. So this parabola cuts into 2 points. There are 2 zeros. Here also 2 zeros. Sometimes the graph will be like this, touching the x-axis at only one point, then the 0 will be only 1, and sometimes it will be like this. So we have to find out how many times it cuts the x-axis. 3. So here it will be 3. So the number of points where the curve cuts the x-axis is the number of zeros for that particular polynomial. Okay. Now we will do here we are more concerned about the quadratic polynomial and also cubic polynomial. So, okay, so let me take in general a linear polynomial ax plus b. So here the 0, okay, which is known as alpha, let us take it alpha, will be minus b by a, and alpha is nothing but minus constant divided by the coefficient of x. Alpha, that is a 0 of a linear polynomial, is always equal to minus of the constant number divided by the coefficient of x. Now we will take quadratic polynomial. In general, the quadratic polynomial is taken in the form of ax square plus bx plus c. And to find when we find the 0 of this polynomial, and after finding the zeros, what we find that the sum of the zeros, okay, sum of the zeros is equal to minus b by a, and the product of the zeros is equal to c by a. Okay, so let me take an example if you want. I'll just take an example, x square minus 2x minus 8. This is a quadratic polynomial. Let us find out the 0 of this polynomial. To find the 0 of the polynomial, we have to factorize it first. All of you know how to factorize a quadratic polynomial. We'll multiply this a into c. We get it is minus 8. We find the product of it. We will find the factors of it in such a way that the sum is equal to 2. And you see that 4 and 2. 4 minus 2 is equal to 8. Minus 4 and 2 are the factors, because minus 4 plus 2 is minus 2. This is splitting the middle term, which we have done in 8th standard. Also we have done in the 9th standard. So such type of problems you have to practice a lot, because you might have forgotten it. So minus 8 will find two factors, and that is minus 4 and 2, because the product is minus 8 and the sum of minus 4 and 2 is minus 2. And then we will write this as minus 4x minus 2x minus 8. We'll take x common and we'll do, then we'll take x minus 4 common, you get x minus 2. Now to find the 0 of this, let us take the polynomial as px. Now to find the 0 of this polynomial, we have to equate this to 0. When you equate this to 0, you will get 4 as the 0 and 2 as the 0. So zeros are here, 4 and 2. Let us take it alpha is equal to 4 and beta is equal to 2. Let us name it alpha and beta. Now let us see whether the sum of the zeros is coming as minus b by a. So let me find the sum of it. I get c. Okay, and what is minus b by a? Let me see. This is a here. A is equal to 1 coefficient of x square. B is equal to minus 2 and C is equal to minus 8. When you compare it to this equation, this polynomial, you will find A is equal to 1, B is equal to minus 2 and C is equal to minus 8. Let me find what is minus B by A. When I find minus B by A, I get like this, which is nothing but two. Okay, we get a 2. And what are we getting here? Oh, I have to write plus. No, this is plus 2. Sorry. plus 2. So we get beta is equal to minus 2, and alpha plus beta will be 4 plus minus 2, which is equal to 2. So we got alpha plus beta also as 2 and minus b by a also as 2. That means this one is verified. Okay, now let me find the product. Product of the zeros will be 4 into minus 2, which is equal to minus 8. And let me see what is c by a, because here it is given that the product of the zeros is c by a. So c is what? C is minus 8. Right, and a is 1. So we get this also minus 8. That means it is verified. I hope you understood. I repeat again. See, this is a quadratic polynomial ax square plus bx plus c, and we have set sum of the zeros as minus b by a and product of the zeros as c by a. Okay, and how we got this is something. So I'm taking an example, factorized it by splitting the middle term, and I got the zeros as 4 and minus 2, and what I find, the sum is 2 and minus b by a is also 2, product is minus 8 and c by a is also minus 8. That means this formula, this is correct. Okay, now we have to do for cubic polynomial also, that we will do later. So now today what are you going to do is, you have, if you have the textbook, fine, otherwise I'll send. See, here we have some graphs. So here what you see, this graph, this is a curve, but it is not at all touching the x-axis, so it does not have any zeros. Okay, and this curve is touching the x-axis at one point, so the number of 0 is 1. Here it is touching the x-axis at 1, 2, 3 points, so the number of zeros is 3. Here it is touching at 2 points, so number of zeros is 2. Similarly, here you have to find out. Okay, then I will give you give you questions on how to find the zeros of a polynomial and how to verify. Thank you. Have a nice day.